We are about to get started. My name is Chris Shorter. I am your city administrator, and I would like to welcome you to the 18th annual celebration of public service here in the city of Baltimore. I am truly honored to serve as your MC this morning. It is quite fitting as we kick off this year's celebration that I, as your new city administrator, as I am getting to know our workforce and getting to know the men and women who serve our city, that I get the privilege, really an honor, to be able to kick off and MC the award this year, and honor really the leaders who are being named, nominated, and awarded today. As many of you know, the Richard A. Ledinsky Senior Award was established in 2004 in honor of the late Mr. Ledinsky, who served the city of Baltimore for 43 years. Mr. Ledinsky was a man of character. He was dedicated as a public servant with integrity that was second to none. He used his insight and influence to positively impact colleagues and the community. He touched lives and he made a difference. Mr. Ledinsky is fondly remembered for his many contributions to the city of Baltimore, including dollars saved and processes improved. The Ledinsky Award ceremony looks very different this year. Instead of inside the City Hall Rotunda, the majestic City Hall serves as our backdrop as we congregate on the historic War Memorial Plaza in compliance with COVID-19 protocols. I'd like to start really by welcoming all of the elected officials here. I'd like to acknowledge our mayor, our council president, and our comptroller. All of you, the families, friends, and public servants gathered here today, want to thank you for your presence and acknowledge you today as well. The daunting task of selecting the 3 recipients for this award is never an easy one. Each year, the award committee prepares for quite an undertaking when determining who the recipients of the award will be. Each submission requires an application, a compelling letter from their supervisor, and 2 additional letters speaking to very specific qualities that illuminate their dedication to Baltimore's future. For the past 17 years, the Ledinsky family has recognized, honored, and rewarded city employees that exemplify the same characteristics, values, and dedication as their father. His passion, work ethic, and commitment are the embodiments of public service that we aspire to here in the city of Baltimore. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Frank Lidinsky, the son of Richard A. Ledinsky Sr., to give us some history on the award and the city celebration of our public servants. Frank?
Good morning. I'm Frank Lidinsky, the 3rd son of Richard A. Ledinsky Sr. My older brother, Richard Jr., is not able to be here today, but I am joined by my brother Mark and my sister Mary Angela. With our family is Mr. Dennis Finnegan, the only original serving member of the team that established the award and who serves as the historian and the senior advisor to the selection committee. I would like to begin by thanking Mayor Brandon Scott for continuing the spirit and the tradition of the Richard A. Ledinsky Senior Award for Excellence in Public Service. By way of a brief history of the award, it was established in 2004 by Mayor Martin O'Malley. This is the only avenue to publicly honor dedicated city employees. The committee meets on an annual basis and has tried to coincide its efforts with the National Public Service Recognition Week to consider nominees from all city agencies and departments to select a civil servant who receives the original commission award in the shape of the City Battle Monument, a cash stipend, and what I consider to be the greatest honor, having their name enshrined on a plaque in the beautiful City Hall Rotunda. A winner is named each year with two honorable mention presentations. Having served on the selection committee, I can tell you that it is a challenge to select the ultimate recipient from the pool of nominees. It's a great pleasure to see that there are so many remarkable city employees. Believe me, everyone who was nominated deserves great respect and admiration for their dedication to the city of Baltimore. My father began his public service in 1947 and served the city for 43 years under 8 mayors. His love for and dedication to the citizens of Baltimore was unceasing. 7 days a week, 365 days a year, whether he was at City Hall or at home. He was always proud of his East Baltimore upbringing and heritage and carried that concern to his fellow citizens his entire life. The same around-the-clock dedication is reflected in the career of this year's honoree, Gwen Tromley. Baltimore City will continue to prosper thanks to the commitment of employees like Gwen, as well as the honorable mentions Walter Horton and John Chalmers, who have displayed the attributes of duty and faithfulness that this award seeks to commemorate. Congratulations to each of you and to all those nominated on their recognition of outstanding service to our city. I look forward to the first week of May 2020, when we will express our appreciation for all city employees as we celebrate Public Service Recognition Week and honor those selected to receive the Richard A. Ledinsky Senior Award for Excellence in Public Service. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. I really appreciate you being here, and appreciate your family's continued support and commitment to the city and to this award. I'd like to really take a moment now to just acknowledge the nominees for the award this year before we move into celebrating the awardees. The nominees for the 2020 Ledinsky Award, starting through the list. And if I mispronounce your name, please, it is my sincerest apologies. But correct me when you can, and I am happy to make the correction when I come back up. Viobia Aquilo, organizational change manager, Department of Transportation, who has served the city for 13 years. Feel free to give her a hand. Brent Hooper, Chief of Maintenance, Department of Transportation, who has served the city for 35 years. Collis Corpry, Minority Business Coordinator, Department of Finance, who has served the city for 34 years. Robert Hudnall Jr., Investigator, Department of Housing and Community Development, 23 years of service. Ernest Dorsey, Assistant Director with the Mayor's Office of Employment Development, 41 years of service. Erica Luckett, Human Resources Business Partner, Department of General Services, 15 years of service. Beverly A. Mason, Accounting Assistant, Baltimore Police Department, 55 years of service. Kermit Taylor, Building Operations Supervisor, Department of Recreation and Parks, 44 years of service. And Diane Onufo, help me out. Diane Onufolo, or Onufojo, and I apologize for the mispronunciation of the name. Fallujah, Diane Anna Fallujah. And she is the supervisor for employment development, Mayor's Office of Employment Development, 17 years of service. I want to again congratulate all the nominees for the award, and we will move into the honorable mentions. I would like to invite Mayor Brandon Scott, City Council President Nick Mosby, and Comptroller Bill Henry to the podium, as well as one of the committee members from the awards. Please come up.
Honorable mention?
Yep, honorable mentions. And so the first honorable mention is Mr. John Chalmers. Mr. Chalmers, come on up. Mr. Chalmers is the Bureau Head for Solid Waste, Department of Public Works, 33 years of service. He began with the city November 11th, 1987. Very good. And we're going to take a few photos. Thank you. Perfect. Congratulations again, Mr. Chalmers. Very proud of you and very proud of your service and leadership in the city of Baltimore. Very good. Our next honorable mention, Mr. Walter Horton. Mr. Horton, come on up. Mr. Horton is head of real estate or real estate officer, operations manager, office of the comptroller, 45 years of service. He began working for the city of Baltimore on May 28th, 1975. 1975. That's right. That's right. You got it. Very good. Congratulations again, Mr. Horton, and thank you for your service to the city of Baltimore and your leadership. 45 years of service. Thank you, sir. All right. And now, we would like to move towards the first citation and the first award. This first award is presented to Miss Gwen B. Tromley. Miss Tromley, come on up. Miss Tromley is the Deputy Chief of Litigation for the Law Department. She has 21 years of service. We are very, very proud of you and your service, Ms. Tromley. Ms. Tromley is the Deputy Chief of Litigation in the Baltimore City Law Department, is a graduate of the Johns Hopkins University and the University of Baltimore's School of Law. She was admitted to the Maryland Bar in 1991 after several years in private practice at the Office of the Attorney General. Ms. Tromley joined the city in 1999, first as the Assistant Solicitor in the Collections Division and later in the Litigation Practice Group, where she was promoted to the position of Chief Solicitor from 2015 to 2016. While still a full-time litigator, she also assumed the additional duties in the law department as the administrator. Her bio is very long, and I will say congratulations again. And if you want to say a few words, we will have you say a few words as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Usually when I speak in public, I'm in fight mode because I'm in trial. Right now, I'm not in fight mode, so I'm a little scared and overwhelmed. But let me say this. I have a couple of thoughts about public service in general. And one of them is that our job as public servants is to close gaps and also to remove obstacles. And I think we do that in this city every single day. I began on my course of doing that in 1971, when 1967, pardon me, when I moved here to Baltimore. And my first job was in a daycare center that was set up to serve the enrollees of a job training program. This daycare center was not just babysitting. This job training program was part of the Lyndon Johnson's so-called war on poverty. The daycare center had a specific mission, and that was to provide good quality daycare for the individuals who were enrolled in job training, and also to help children flourish. And I went there as a teacher assistant, and at the same time, another teacher assistant was there with me, and she is now our city labor commissioner, Deborah Moore Carter. So we've been dear friends for a long time. This daycare center was a very important part of removing obstacles and bridging gaps, because without it, individuals, striving adults, would not have had an opportunity to have job training, and that was critically important at the time. Moving forward, 4 or 5 years ago, here in the city, we were given the opportunity to have some students from the highly regarded Lake Clifton High School law-related education program. They came to our office, maybe 4 or 5 of them. I'm going to wait a second. And we did not have a precise training program for them. But at the time, I said to our former colleague, Elva Tillman, we need a program for these students, and there's no reason that we can't have a good program. As experienced lawyers, active Bar Association members, we know a lot of people. We know lawyers, judges, other professionals in this city, and all we have to do is connect these students with those individuals. These were students, by the way, who had already decided what their course in life was going to be. They wanted to go to law school. So we were able to devise a program, which, sort of a curriculum, really, which was a combination of seminars and opportunities for them to visit with judges and other individuals who could really be helpful to them and mentor them throughout the course of their career. This, again, I believe, was at the heart of public service, because it removed a barrier, it removed an obstacle, and it bridged a gap. It was so easy to do. These two things have something in common. These two activities have something in common. They permitted access. They permitted students to have access to the important mentoring and professional guidance that any successful career person needs. In the daycare center, they permitted whole families to grow and flourish as a result of having quality daycare and a good job training program. Again, access. And I believe that that is at the heart of what we are talking about in the city now. Equality and access. And I am very proud to be a part of any of that effort. And I thank the Ledinskys very much for this award, and thank you, Mayor Scott. Thank you. All right. Are we set?
Congratulations again, Gwen. Thank you for your leadership, for your service, and for your commitment to the city of Baltimore. I'd like to introduce Kurt Henrich. All right, Kurt, come on up. Kurt's going to say a few words, just concluding words about Ms. Tromley.
And then me. I think it's me, then Kurt.
I'm sorry. Kurt, you want to sit where the comptroller was sitting? I'm going to have the mayor come up first. Actually, I'm going to, just because of time, I'm going to have the mayor and the council president come up, say a few words, and then we'll have a few words from Kurt, and we'll move after that.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator, and good afternoon, everyone. I also want to thank the Council President and Comptroller Henry for being here today. In addition to all of our guests, Comptroller Henry had to depart us for bid opening for the BOE. We have to keep that moving. And on this day, as we do annually, we honor the Ledinsky family through this award for their continued support to recognize City of Baltimore employees that have gone above and beyond the call of duty to serve our residents here. We know that this year in particular has been a challenging year for our city, but over the past year, even as we continue to reckon with the fallout of ransomware and COVID-19, we saw firsthand the importance of dedicated public service and putting our residents first, showing them that they can count on their local government even in the most difficult times. As we work each day to build a city government that functions better, our residents, one that our residents can be proud of, I want all of you to know how central each and every employee is to that mission. Today, I am honored as your mayor to celebrate the long-serving city employees who have dedicated themselves to making the agencies and the city a greater place. First, of course, want to congratulate Ms. Tromley for her dedicated service to the city of Baltimore and for understanding what we have to do as a city to make our city more equitable, to make sure that we're creating pathways to provide opportunities to people who live in Baltimore in every way possible, but also for having a very diverse background in service. I think that's something that we all can learn from. Also want to honor our two other honorees, who is no stranger to pretty much anyone who's worked in city government over the last 20 years, both Mr. Chalmers and Mr. Horton. We all know Mr. Horton not just for his style, but for his dedication to his job and making sure that our city and the real estate department in particular was one that was open and available to residents in Baltimore City, and one you could always count on him to give you an answer. You might not always like the answer that he was going to give you, but he was going to give you an answer. And I think that we all know that Mr. Chalmers has worked so hard to keep our city clean, especially thinking about all that we've been through over the last year. We know that residents, council members, other government officials alike all know that they can call Mr. Chalmers, and he will not only make sure that the job is done, but he treats his workers like family and with the respect that they deserve. So thank you to you both, and congratulate you both for what you've done in addition to our winner this year. And now I'll turn it over to the City Council President for remarks, and just say that we honor each and every one of the people that we talked about here today for their great service. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will not be long, but thank you for your leadership and your willingness to keep such an important day, an important award going on for years to come. We know that municipal workers are literally the backbone of our city. And running a complicated, great old American city such as Baltimore, every single day issues arise, complexities arise, problems arise, and if it wasn't for the hard work of our essential workers who get out there and ensure that the city is moving in the right direction, there couldn't be the great Baltimore City. So I do not take this award ceremony lightly, and we should not take this award lightly. I've had the pleasure and the honor to work with both Mr. Chalmers and Mr. Horton on a regular basis through my years in city government. And what I will say is, no matter what time you put the call out, Brandon, no matter what time you text them, no matter what time you email them, they were always responsive to that particular concern. Mr. Horton in real estate and Mr. Chalmers in solid waste. And again, they are just indicative of what we have throughout this entire city, throughout all of our departments, that do not always get the praise or do not always get the recognition. And that's what today is about. Now, as it relates to Ms. Tromley, this year's award winner, I would just like to thank you for all of your service. We all know that the legal community outside of Baltimore City, but throughout this region, holds you in high regard. And this award is going to be indicative of ensuring that the city's legacy holds you in high regard as well. So thank you for all of your decades worth of work to the citizens of Baltimore, but more importantly, knowing the importance of giving back through your internship program and ensuring that Baltimore City young folks had the opportunity to succeed, such as yourself. I have a close person in my office that knows your background strongly because he was a mentee of yours, and that's Aaron DeGraffenreich. And he told me not to come on this stage and not to talk about the relationship that he had with you and how he held you in such high regard and how the legal community held you in high regard. But she said one thing when she was speaking. She said, right now is about equity. Right now is about providing opportunities for young folks. And again, that's what your career exemplifies off of, and we truly, truly thank you. So thank you for your service, Mr. Horton, as well as Mr. Chalmers. And again, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for keeping this going. Now I'll call up the City Administrator, Mr. Shorter. You're going to do the introduction, sir.
Very good. I followed him. Very good, very good.
Thank you, Council President. And now I'm just in awe, and Ms. Tromley really appreciate. I certainly wasn't here to see you over the last few decades, but am just in awe of your service to the city. Mr. Chalmers, Mr. Horton, for your service as well. I'd like to now bring up Kurt to say a few words about Ms. Tromley.
Thank you, Mr. Shorter. Gwen, I want you to know what a big deal this is, because this is the first time in about 15 months that I've actually had a suit on the top and bottom halves. So you have to love the Zoom calls. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kurt Henrich, and I'm a colleague of Gwen Tromley. Have been so for almost 20 years. Today, we gather to recognize and celebrate those who exhibit excellence in public service. The Ledinsky Award honors those who have demonstrated exemplary character, honesty, integrity, loyalty, and a superior commitment to public service. To that end, Gwen Tromley is a most worthy recipient. She is the personification of commitment to public service. In her decades as an attorney for the city of Baltimore, she's handled almost any type of case imaginable. When you go to the Maryland Judiciary Case Search website and you do a search for attorney Gwen Tromley, the system produces a list of hundreds of cases in which she has passionately advocated for the city and its citizens. What a list of cases or a list of triumphs does not tell you, however, and what this award honors, are the intangible things that Gwen demonstrates while she is representing the city. She is shrewd, yet kind and fair. She balances her ferocity with elegance and diplomacy. She can see the big picture while gathering and analyzing the facts of a case, no matter how complex. In short, she is the rare attorney who can harmonize the mechanics of the law with the human impact of the law. This, I know, is not an easy feat, but Gwen does it with decency and humility. She does it quietly, without seeking recognition. She does it because she cares about the city of Baltimore, its citizens, and she loves the legal profession. I am proud to have been a colleague of Gwen Tromley for almost 20 years, with 10 of those years working closely and collaborating with her, learning from her, strategizing with her, and every now and then disagreeing with her. Gwen, it is wonderful to see you in person. This opportunity to honor you absolutely warrants the donning of a suit. So congratulations to you and to all of the other honorees. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt, and glad to see you in a suit as well. Yes. Now, as we come to an end, I want to really acknowledge again the honorees and the awardee and their families. So, if you are a family member, please stand up. We want to acknowledge you as well. Thank you very much, and thank you all for bringing your family to see this. We take it as a great honor to be able to acknowledge this today, to acknowledge the service that they provide to the city of Baltimore. We are, as public servants, committed to a lifetime of serving, and it is always a great pleasure to pause, to acknowledge, and to honor and recognize. And that we're able to do today, and I am very thankful for it. I am also very thankful for the support of the Ledinsky family and the continued support over the years. 17 years we have been able to bring forth these awards and celebrate public service. So I am, again, very thankful. As we wrap up this phase, I want to invite and thank the mayor, thank the council president, and thank the comptroller in his absence for their presence here today and for their remarks, and just invite them in to the rotunda inside to see the unveiling of the plaque. Thank you again.